This Arsenal team challenged City 2 seasons back to back. And both seasons they fell short. I expected Arsenal to come into this season with a similar kind of focus. I expected them to come into this season determined to set the record straight. So I watched their game against Brentford. In as much as they got the 3 points, the truth is that I'm not so sure it was as dominant and as confident and as assured a performance as everybody has been saying. There are only 2 players in this game who impressed me. Gabriel Jesus in 2024 was it 45 games? A lot of games. But then finally, he got his mojo back in the game against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup where he scored a hat-trick. At the weekend, he scored 2 against the same Crystal Palace. Against Ipswich, he didn't do much. But against Brentford, he came up with a very, very important equalizer for them. So, with Saka out, that's goals gone from the team. So there's going to be a real need for Gabriel Jesus to step up. So when I said Gabriel Jesus impressed me, I'm not saying he impressed me with his play. His play has always been his play. Even when he hasn't been scoring goals, he'll come into the field and do what he does. But he impressed me for the simple fact that at a time when Arsenal needed a goal against Brentford, 1-0 down, they needed a goal and he got them that goal. That's delivering under pressure. And that's something Gabriel Jesus has not done for this Arsenal side ever since he got there. Apart from that first season when he arrived there, when he was so prolific, such a goal threat. And then he picked up that injury and the World Cup, and that's been it from him ever since. So for the fact that Arsenal needed a goal, Arsenal were in dire straits against Brentford, and he turned up and he got them that goal, that impressed me. The only other person who impressed me in this game against Brentford, it's really unfortunate I don't have any image of him to put up, is Thomas Partey. And the reason why Thomas Partey impressed me is the same reason why I have been really, really critical of Mikel Arteta for deciding that Thomas Partey was the only player in the entire squad that he could use at right back position. I said it against Newcastle. I said it against Fulham. Arsenal give up so much control in the midfield when Thomas Partey is playing at right back. There is really nobody who can do what Thomas Partey does in terms of breaking up play. Thomas Partey is the closest player to Rodri. He's the closest player that I've seen to who is able to replicate the kind of form that Rodri has for Manchester City. And when you play him at right back, to me it's you're tying the team's arm behind their back. Against Newcastle, it cost them. They lost that game. Against Fulham, it cost them. They drew that game. I know he's had so many injury problems that it's really become, it's the reason why he's in the final year of his contract and we haven't heard anything about an extension. But this season, he's been fitter. I think this season he's played more games than he's ever played in any season for Arsenal. That's the truth. I could be wrong, but I've watched Arsenal enough times to know that this season, Thomas Partey has played more football than he has ever played in a season for Arsenal. But deploying him to right back has always, for me, been to the detriment of the team. And the points dropped bear that out. So, in as much as this game against Brentford delivered the 3 points, I really am not in a place where I want to say Arsenal are back in title contention. Numerically, by way of the numbers, it's easy to say that they are, but I'm not sure. I think we'll look at what they do against Brighton this weekend, this away game, and we'll see how that goes. But they've been nowhere near the level of consistency that Liverpool have had. In the last 2 seasons, barring some moments of poor form, they've had that consistency. But this season, they've been nowhere near it. After this weekend, it will be the upper week, midweek, before we are back in the Premier League. But we'll see what happens with Arsenal. There are a lot of players in this team that need to step up. They got the win against Brentford, but as far as I'm concerned, having watched that game, I was not that impressed. It's being spinned as a very confident victory, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. I watched it. Anybody that thinks that it was as confident as that, I enjoin you to, explain it to me in the comments why you think Arsenal's play was that confident. So we'll see how this weekend's league games go, and come the upper week, we'll be here to talk about it. So yeah, that's it for me on Arsenal at the halfway stage. Happy New Year, people. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.